President of the United States with this ongoing humanitarian crisis and significant alarming people, not only in Texas, but obviously now in places where you're trying to take these unaccompanied kids. Are you comfortable with the optics of the president going for fundraisers only and not taking an eyeball look at himself on the border?
All right, folks, welcome to Give Me Five. Major Garrett addressing Josh Earnest, the president's spokesperson, and of course referring to the fact that Governor Rick Perry of Texas invited the president to come to the border to see the crisis, to see the kids, to see the humanitarian situation there, and the president said no. And now he's going off to a fundraiser, 4th of July, the whole thing, and Major Garrett of CBS News wants to know about the optics of such a occurrence, and here's the answer.
Well, we're going to have more details about the president's travel to Texas, and it will include some activities other than just building some support for Democratic candidates for office who are on the ballot in November. The president's traveled to the border both as a presidential candidate and as president. This president is obviously very attuned to your administration officials, including the Secretary of Homeland Security, the Secretary of HHS, and even Cecilia Munoz, who works here in the West Wing, have recently traveled to the border region to see firsthand the situation there.
But that's not the president. You know, the president's whole cabinet could go to the border region. You know, everybody in the U.S. Senate and the Congress could go to the border region, although they don't let congressmen see those kids, apparently. But the president's not going. Is it not important enough for the president of the United States to go? Apparently not.
I know that that group in particular, Secretary Johnson, Secretary Burwell, and Ms. Munoz spent some time at Lackland Air Force Base, the facility that HHS is operating there to provide a humanitarian way to detain individuals who have been apprehended at the border. So this is something that the administration is paying very close attention to. The president's getting regular updates on this situation.
Regular updates, ladies and gentlemen, on everything. He is getting regular updates, but don't worry. Don't worry, he's not overworking, he's not overtaxing himself. I'm sure he'll have a nice vacation, playing a lot of golf, basketball, you name it, whatever, who cares? The fact of the matter is, he should take a trip to the border. And while he's down on the border, you know what else he should do? He should demand the release of our Marine being held in Mexico. He should go to the border and shout across, "Let my Marine go." Don't count on that happening either. And by the way, it's all Congress's fault anyway. What are you picking on the president for, right, Josh?
I think the last thing that I would say is those individuals who are concerned about border security and concerned about the situation at the border, that the most important thing they could do is not offer public invitations, but actually to lend their public support to comprehensive immigration reform. Those people who are focused on border security understand that passing comprehensive immigration reform would allow for a historic investment in our borders. And that's one of the many reasons the president has strongly advocated for Congress to make progress on that.
Absolutely. This is Congress's fault. Specifically, it's the Republicans' fault. It's all the Republicans' fault. You know, I'm surprised he didn't say, you don't like the president not going to the border? Sue him. Maybe that's going to come. But here's more of bashing the Republicans.
Now, unfortunately, we've seen that House Republicans have probably effectively killed that for the year. But the president's going to do what he can to try to mitigate some of the impact of our broken immigration system. And one of the things that the president ordered earlier this week is DHS to move some of the resources that are currently deployed in the interior along the border to try to meet the need that we're seeing there.
Just make sure the president still has no plans to go to the border. That's what you're telling us.
That's the continued plan, but schedules sometimes change, and if they do, we'll let you know. But right now, there's no plan to visit the border while he's in Texas. Well, I wouldn't rule it out until the day of, but our focus at this point is to plan to do something else.
See, that's the best part. I didn't tell you where the fundraiser was. He's going to Texas. He'll be in Texas, but he won't go to the border because he's getting updates, he's being briefed, and, you know, his cabinet members have gone, his this one, that secretary, this secretary, they've all gone. So why should he be bothered? Why should he concern himself with this when it's all the Republicans' fault, and we all know that? What can I say on the Steve Malzberg Show?